Welcome to Beyond the Wall. This is my life story before, during, and after 20 plus years of incarceration. I've been home now a little bit over 3 months. And I've been having a lot of positive comments on how I'm able to keep my sanity after all these years. But a lot of that, me being able to keep my sanity, me being able to sit here and speak to you, is not really a credit to me. It's a credit to all the people that I had around me, my support system, while I was locked up. And maybe you don't realize it at the time, but having a support system, having people that care about you, having people that love you, it plays a real big part of how you look at things and how you perceive the world and the hope that you can hold on to. Through the course of my time when I was in the county jail, I thought I was going to get 65 years or life. Like I mentioned before, they charged me for 14 robberies, 12 kidnapping, and 7 attempted murder. I don't repeat these things to tell you these things to brag, because these are not anything to be proud of. These are just facts that has happened through my life. Going to prison is not a badge of honor. Going to prison just means that you failed in whatever it is that you were attempting to do. Now, where I do have a sense of pride is being able to survive the time that I did, being able to survive the environment that I lived in. That I can be proud of, because that helped shape who I am today. When you're in the penitentiary system, when you're locked up, no one cares who you are. No one cares what gang you're from. No one cares how much money you have. No one gives a rat's ass of what you've done out here. All you have in the penitentiary is yourself. Yeah, you might have homies around you. You might be in a yard where you got a lot of homies from your own gang, from your own neighborhood, from your own place, from your own hometown. But if you've been paying attention to these episodes that I put out, a lot of people that get fucked off, that get X'd out, that get stabbed up, that get killed, it's not from another gang. It's not from another race. It's really, most of the time, it's from the people that is around you. Because the people around you is not going to allow other cars and other gang members and other race to do anything to you when you fuck up. They're going to do it to you. So at the end of the day, no matter how many homies you have, you're by yourself. The people that really truly love you and care about you aren't there. They're on the other side of the wall. The only way you can reach them is through a letter or a phone call. But even though when they're not physically there with you in the penitentiary, they play a big role in your life as a part to help you keep your sanity, to help you maintain and get by. When I went to the prison system, I left the world behind. Anybody that was in the county jail with me, in Old Metro and ADC, they can tell you I was an idiot. At every given opportunity, I was acting out, acting up. If they put a rat in my tank, I was trying to stomp them out. If they put a sex offender in my tank, I'm crushing them. One particular time, I broke the broom over somebody's head. Not the handle, but the brush part. It's really thick. It's about this wide and this thick. So imagine the force that I was hitting this individual with to snap it in half on his head. Being locked up at that time, coming from the streets, taking off, I was full of anger. You know, I was gang banging. I had a lot of animosity, a lot of hatred. And I also knew that I was on my way to the penitentiary for a long time. I wasn't the type of person that when I'm down and out, I'm looking for someone to save me, whether it's someone in this physical world or someone above us. I just felt like it's almost hypocritical for me to be begging for mercy, to be asking for forgiveness when I already got myself in hot water. So my only other option was to press the gas, to continue what I was doing and to make sure that everybody around me knows that to leave me alone. But living in that state of mind wears down on you, because I don't like to believe that that is truly who I am. I like to believe that I'm the person that my wife thinks I am. So a lot of time I'm conflicted with those contrasts, because I've always asked my wife this question, because she thinks I'm a decent person. So I ask her, well, how can a good person do bad things? And, you know, she always tries to explain that these are life circumstances and you deal with them as they come and then in the best way you know how. But sitting here right now, I believe I'm a better person than I was at times. But I still haven't bought into the whole thing that I'm a decent person, because I've done a lot of things. I've hurt a lot of people. And, you know, regret is not part of my makeup. And it's not about me not feeling bad about things that I've done or the situations that I've in, but it's just more like I can't change it. So why do you want me to dwell in that? Something that I can never change. No matter how many times I tell someone I'm sorry, it's not going to take back the 20 plus years I was gone. It's not going to take back the time that I hurt this individual. But in my mind, even today, I feel that the confrontations that I was involved in was justified. But that's not to say that I'm right. But I'm not trying to tell you that I'm wrong either. I'm just explaining to you my thought process. So coming home here, being allowed to integrate back into my family, into my community, the best thing I can possibly do now is not do the same things that I've done, but to evolve the way I think. And part of that evolution is my wife and the love that I receive from my family. You know, I was in the SHU in Victorville in 2005. I was in there and my cellie was Charles Freeman. He's a Jewish guy. And, you know, in the penitentiary, you can't cellie up with different races. Blacks don't cellie up with whites. Whites don't cellie up with Mexicans, so on and so forth. But I'm not from any of these prison gangs. And I've made a point that I live with who I want to live with. I cellie up with who I want to cellie up. I smoke and drink with who I want to smoke and drink with. And I've been grateful that that's never been an issue. So when I went to the SHU, my friend Chuck, he was the orderly in there, and he was in a cell by himself. You know, they were going to put me in with a native guy or a Mexican guy. I knew them, but I said, nah, man, put me in there with my buddy Chuck, because I know he was about to go home in a few months. So I wanted to go spend some time with him. So I went in and we cellied up. And while we were celly, he talked me into signing up for this church program, a Jewish church program. You know, it was called the Alpha Institute. And it's almost like a pen pal program where the Jews on the outside write the Jews on the inside and keep them connected. You know, from my wife, she grew up Jewish. She's not Jew by race, but her mother converted to Judaism, and so they practice Judaism, and her mother's like, hey, there's this program that helps people on the outside, you know, to stay in touch with the people on the inside. But my wife's like, she hasn't been to the synagogue how many years? She wasn't really trying to get involved writing somebody in prison. But it's called mitzvah. I think a mitzvah is a good deed. So somehow her mom talked her into it. And my friend in the SHU, Chuck, talked me into filling out the program. But I told him I wasn't a Jew, that I was Cambodian, and I gave him everything that, you know, that they wanted, the information they wanted. Because really, I wasn't concerned if somebody responded to my application or not. Because like I said, I've left the world behind and I don't need all the extra stuff. And in my mind, it's like, why would anyone out here in the real world want to write someone in there? You know, I'm sure like being out here, you're busy from sun up to sundown. So what kind of time do you have to devote to writing a letter to someone in the penitentiary? You know, but anyway, I filled out the form and came in October. I eventually got out of the SHU. And a few months later in October, the end of October, towards November, I received a letter from my wife. You know, it wasn't nothing extravagant. It was just, hey, how are you doing? I got your name from this Alpha Institute. They said we might have something in common. So here I am. Write me back or not. I didn't know how to react to that. I was surprised that I even got a letter from someone, you know, but then I think I wrote her back and I was like, well, I don't know I don't know anything I don't know if we have anything in common or not, but I'll give it a try. You know, and that was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. As you know, from that first letter, I'm now married to her. 17 years later, she waited for me. But when we started out, we were just friends. But being able to receive the letters from her through these last 17 years has helped me stay sane, has helped me make better decisions, because I got to a point in my life where not necessarily cared about myself and my well-being, but I was able to care about somebody else. And caring about somebody else made me not second guess myself, but review my situation a couple times over, because whatever I did or didn't do was going to affect this person who takes her time to write to me. I tell her all the time that she saved my life. And I sincerely mean that in every meaning of it, because she did. Because getting to know her, being able to correspond with her, gave me hope. I didn't have any expectations when we first started our correspondence. She was just a friend. But any of you that's been locked up, I can't explain to you the warm feelings you get when they do mail call and there's a letter for you. Because we have 150 something, 120 something people in a unit. And when the mailbag comes, there might only be 20 letters. On a good day, there might be 30. But most days, it's only 5 or 10 letters. That's 5 and 10 letters out of 120 individuals that's getting love. And the rest of us is just standing there looking stupid. And it's not funny, but it's like, you know, when they bring the mailbag in, you see everybody running over to the CEO's office, waiting for them to call their name. But you know, 80% of these individuals know that no one's writing them, that they're not getting any mail. But it's the hope, it's the possibility that somebody in the real world, might have thought about us that day that brings them all to the CEO's office to wait for their name to be called. And then when their name is not called, you see just a crowd that surrounded the CEO's office walking back a little deflated. And it happens every single day. You know, so when I say that the people out here helps our sanity, I really mean that. Like anybody that's ever been in a place that's been taken away from your people or has been gone somewhere, when you get word, when you get a letter from your loved ones, it helps lift you up. Sorry. It helps make your day. But a lot of those people that are stuck in the penitentiary don't have that. You know, and the letters that I was getting in the penitentiary, 99% of them was from my wife. Just being able to write her and correspond to her was therapeutic to me. Because at the time when I'm sitting down writing her the letter, it doesn't matter if I'm at a park or in my bedroom out here or in a cell block. My focus is on her, is corresponding to her, is expressing, you know, my feelings or my thoughts to her in the best way that I possibly can. And I cherish those times because I really believe that those things help enable me to be the person that I am today. You know, when I speak about it, the thing that overwhelms me is the commitment and dedication on her part. For me, I have no choice. I'm stuck in this box, and I'm stuck in this box for this amount of time, 2+ decades. I can't go nowhere. I can't leave. I can't quit. I'm just stuck. I have no other options. But for people out here in the world, they have the whole world. They have the whole world to go and live their life and do everything that they want to do. So for these people out here in the world to take a time out of their day to write to you, that stuff is appreciated. You know, and I've always been appreciative of her. You know, even before we got together and started this relationship, we were friends and just corresponding with her as a friend. was something that I cherish, because here's a person that's out in the free world taking the time out of her day to write to me. You know, if I don't mention it, if I haven't mentioned it enough, I just want to emphasize to her how much I appreciated her friendship. And I credit her for everything that is possible for me now in this world. Doing time is hard. And you think that you're doing it by yourself because you're the one that's in that box. But you're not. And you can't. You can't do the time in the environment that I've been in by yourself. And I'm not talking about the people that's in the penitentiary with you, because we're all in the same boat. It's being able to reach out and call home. It's able to receive a letter. You know. So if any of you that are viewing this, and you have brothers or sisters or parents or cousin or friends or somebody that you know that's locked up, please take a few minutes out of your day, send them a postcard, send them some pictures, send them a letter, whether it's a whole page or a quarter page. I promise you, those things will be appreciated, and those things will help these individuals in there keep their sanity. No matter how small the gesture, when you're in a place with nothing, a drop of water is life. Welcome to Welcome to Beyond the Wall. Thank you for tuning in.